I mean, Bob Chapek, you are not doing good. Like, in terms of the presentation as a leader, everything from the outside looking in is just not looking good. What's up, Reject Nation? Disney CEO Bob Chapek is at it again with keeping his Marvel actors happy. This guy
so happy.
really knows what he's doing, man.
He's really made a name for you. Don't know a lot of CEOs' names, but you know this guy's name.
Yeah, this guy is developing quite the reputation for himself in terms of how to work with your stars. Anywho, guys, Simu Liu has some coarse words here in response to something Bob Chapek recently said. We're going to go through this, go through what Bob Chapek said, go through what Simu Liu said, give our opinions on it all, weigh it all out. But first, living here sucks. I'm going to tell you guys, if you guys haven't been following the chronicles of Greg's home, I shaved and I was going to shower because we got the Shang-Chi event to go to tonight. Got to pick up Warren from the airport, about to shower, and then the water is turned off again. And I went off on my landlord. If you want to see what I said to him, go follow me on Twitter. That's what my Twitter's for, to bitch about certain things, right?
Twitter is for.
That's what Twitter's for. Okay. So here is what happened with what Bob Chapek said in regards to the fact that Shang-Chi is going to have this 45-day theatrical window. It's going to be the first movie where it's not going to be available on Disney Plus till after 45 days. There's not going to be any dual release, only theatrical experience. He said, "We actually think it will be an interesting experiment for us. The prospect of being able to take a Marvel title to the service after going theatrical for 45 days will be yet another data point to inform our actions going forward on our titles." This statement obviously came out way before Simu Liu responded to it. But when I first heard that, I thought, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Everything's kind of up in the air. Everything's a big experiment right now. So I didn't read into it in the way Simu Liu took this to heart. So Simu Liu responded to this saying, "We are not an experiment. We are the underdog, the underestimated. We are the ceiling breakers. We are the celebration of culture and joy that will persevere after an embattled year. We are the surprise. I'm fired the fuck up to make history." On September 3rd, Greg's birthday. Join us to say happy birthday to Greg. Now, I'm very excited for Shang-Chi in more ways than one. I've said it many times in many videos. Someone who is Asian myself, seeing Asian representation, first Asian Marvel lead, I'm very, very much enthralled just by that fact alone, and I have a lot of faith it's going to be a good movie. Do I think that Bob Chapek meant it in the way how it can be received? I don't think so. I don't actually think that. At the same time, the flip side here is I can totally see how the other side of the conversation could receive it this way.
Yeah.
And I think when you are being a CEO and you are dealing with a movie that has a cultural movement around it, I do think you got to be more careful with your choice of words. Do I think he meant this in a racist way? No, I don't. I think he was just referring to the fact of it's a Marvel movie.
Release strategy again.
Trying new release strategies. The first one that might have something to do with the fact that early projections are only estimating the box office to be around $35 to $55 million, which is pretty low for a Marvel movie. But you got to keep in mind, this character has not been set up in a previous Marvel film, other than like little Easter eggs that hardcore fans may have picked up on, right? But it's not the same way as like introducing Captain Marvel, where Infinity War has, post-credit scene that's saying you have to watch Captain Marvel before you watch Endgame. Shang-Chi doesn't have that benefit to it. It's a brand new character, and we are living in a weird time right now. No one really knows how anything's going to go, and no one does. You can predict if something might underperform or overperform or do just fine, but there's a lot to be surprised by in all of this. So I kind of feel like both here, because when Simu Liu is saying that, I actually did not take the word Simu Liu said it. When he's talking about saying we're not an experiment, we're the underdog, the underestimated, I feel that. As someone who is Asian myself, I do feel that. This is a big deal. This is something to overcome here. This is something to create some cultural waves here. This is really exciting. And to be told on the receiving end that you're an experiment, I can totally see how it feels like you're being told, and the people involved are, as people, you're an experiment for this. Mm-hmm. It can sort of read as, we don't really know how it's going to do. We don't really care too much about it. So we're just going to experiment with this and throw it to the wind. Yeah. It's strange because even though I don't think Bob Chapek meant it in that regard, I still would side more with how Simu Liu took it, because that is just a poor choice of words there on Bob Chapek's end.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Bob Chapek has the unfortunate, and this is just a projection of my own, but I feel like he's so into the money and the numbers that he's not really speaking as somebody who is looking at the full scope of what the movie is and what it's trying to do and where it lands in the MCU and all that other stuff. And so, yeah, I can see easily how this conflict has arisen, because it's easy to feel like, yeah, this is an experiment also with multiculturalism, and there's already so much that rides on the success of movies like this when it comes to the box office. And in a time where there are so many natural variables that are affecting all this, it seems like the application of the recognition of those variables isn't always on the level. And so basically this movie's in a tough position, because if it doesn't perform, there are so many reasonable reasons for that, and yet it might damage the chances of seeing another Asian-led or predominantly Asian cast movie being made on this scale and being delivered to us on this scale. So while I am sitting here going, I feel like he just meant we're gonna, experiment with not doing dual release for a minute, but then a really quick rollout to Disney Plus after the theatrical part and see how that works. I get it from a business standpoint. Sure, try something else. It seems almost better than doing a dual release at the moment. But yeah, it also kind of speaks in a way that sounds like, yeah, we're trying stuff out on this movie, whereas, you maybe wouldn't want to make this the experiment movie, given that it already has so much ground within just culture to make up and to bring people in for.
Because what I want to add to why I'm saying I get where Simu Liu is coming from is that as Disney CEO, you are the leader. And as the leader, you should be encouraging people, and you should be hyping it up. You should be getting people excited. And people who probably weren't as excited should be going, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go check out Shang-Chi, instead of kind of just having this sort of flippant attitude. It's sort of like, just throw it to the wind and it kind of reads that way as like, let's just see what happens. Instead of, let's get people in the theaters. This is a big deal. This is our new Marvel hero.
I too invested in the success of this.
Yes, and it doesn't read that way. I do feel like Bob Iger might have done that, if I'm going to be totally honest. I kind of miss Bob Iger these days.
Well, he's just so much more poised in this position, it seems like.
And like Simu Liu, this is his first movie with Marvel. This is his first one, and it's really strange. It's so fascinating to me how like Scarlett Johansson, a legacy character within the MCU, suing Disney, having issues with Bob Chapek. This guy doesn't even have his movie out yet.
No.
And he's already going up against it. So I'm like, how is everyone feeling about this guy? How does everyone feel about Bob Chapek? Because for him to suddenly speak out against him and his words, like he's doing more promotion for the film. He's starting, like, to me, when I read this, I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's get this movie out there.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, let's not just treat it like an experiment. Let's encourage people to go out there and watch this movie. Where Bob Chapek's like, it's an experiment. We'll see how it goes.
Try some stuff out. What's the next movie we got? People don't really know Shang-Chi. Let's experiment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Chapek, you are not doing good. Like, in terms of the presentation as a leader, everything from the outside looking in is just not looking good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, no shade to theme park folks, but it doesn't seem like he's absolutely suited to the film business.
Yes. Oh, man. Caught this article last night, and I was like, damn, this is surprising. And it is weird to me how, like, I didn't actually think of it in that, like, all these thoughts were coming to me after I read Simu Liu's tweet. Then I realized, like, oh, yeah, Bob Chapek doesn't really seem to be trying to get people excited about this.
Yeah.
Where he's like, just let trailers or whatever do it. But Simu Liu, he's working on ramping people up and encouraging people to go out there and show that we can still dominate even in these times.
Yeah, and I feel like it seems to me like there would have been an easy way for Bob Chapek to get pretty much the same message out, because it's not unfair to experiment in uncertain times, but while also showing some big support for the movie and maybe hopes that experiment will be a roaring success or something. Something that, makes your talent feel like you got their back and that you're invested in them too.
True. All right, guys, what do you think about this situation? How are you feeling about how Bob Chapek is doing with these things? Maybe he'll be at the premiere. That'd be fascinating.
We'll talk to him. We'll send us some comments to leave for him.
I know John Campea did a video on this earlier, and he's going to be at the premiere. I haven't seen his video yet, but I'm assuming that there's certain subjects where I know Campea and I will kind of be on the same page about some things, and I imagine we're on the same page about this one,
Oh, I got it.
Actually, this comment, yes, he has a tweet that
gotta be a rant.
He responded to his tweet. I gotta check out Campy's video.
Gotta be a rant on this.
I know Campy can be a bit of a divisive personality within our subscriber base, but videos like this are, oh yeah, okay. Go watch John Campy's video. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming it's a lot more heated than how we presented ours. All right, guys, leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe, click the notification bell, hit that like button. Are you going to watch Shang-Chi in the theaters or wait for that 45-day window to open up? See you guys.